Good morning. It is day 149 on the Pacific Crest Trail, and it's a little bit of a wet start. So we weren't able to outrun the rain completely yesterday. It did start at about, I think, 2:30 in the morning. Luckily, I'd set up my tent, so all of my stuff except for my tent is dry. Although my tent bag has ripped entirely anew. I think I needed a new dry bag, see if I can sort that out. So I've now shoved it in a plastic bag instead. But yeah, only the tent is wet, which is lovely. Now me, I guess, because it's still raining. Early start, left at about 6, because I'm trying to do 24 hours in about 24 miles in about 11 hours, which is very much doable, I think. Today is a lot more chill, a lot more downhill, half as much uphill as yesterday, so should be able to cruise along fairly nicely. Just trying to avoid all of this greenery at the moment, but yeah, my legs are getting wet. But yeah, going into town today, hopefully, trying to get the last shuttle, which leaves by 5:30, I think, so trying to get there by 5. But yeah, catch up with you in a bit. Hello again. Today was so much fun. So it started out, luckily, even despite the rain, it wasn't too cold. It wasn't that cold to pack everything up. And I started off with a burn zone, which was kind of interesting in the rain. And then it did stop raining somewhere around 7, although it kind of kept coming and going throughout the day. There were kind of little spurts of rain. But it mostly dried off, except for occasionally getting re-soaked by just overgrown bushes that were still very, very damp, and I brushed with my legs. But the exciting part, or at least where it started, was that I realised that if I hiked an average of 3 miles an hour for 8 hours, then I could make it to an earlier shuttle. There was actually one at 2:30 p.m, so I could make it there and have an extra 3 hours to resupply, charge, stuff, all of that. And I absolutely smashed it. I ended up getting there, I think, about 1:45, to the trailhead where the shuttle picks people up. So it did mean that I basically didn't stop, other than filtering water for that period. But yeah, there was quite a bit of downhill for the first probably 2/3 of the day. So I just kind of ran down at least half of that. And also, yeah, so it was downhill, it was a green tunnel, and there was a bunch of bad weather, which kind of made it seem like too good to pass up, especially just with the thought of having civilization and warm, dry things and nice food and all of the stuff that towns have. And it also kind of reminded me of trying to get to Cajon Pass back in the desert. It was very similar there. I think it was about 22 miles, so similar-ish mileage. And I did a similar speed, just running, trying to avoid the rain. I was definitely more miserable at that point. My spirits weren't that low today, mainly because I was just hyped for trying to go fast and going fast. I think I'd done, I got to about, I think it was 13.7 miles, so basically I only had 10 miles left. But I got there within about 4 hours, so I had a healthy buffer. And at that point I kind of knew it was fairly certain that I'd make it. So that was cool. I very much enjoyed, kind of pushing it and basically walking almost non-stop for about 8 hours. My legs did start stiffening up in the last hour or so. But yeah, the day zoomed by. I didn't have any music or audiobooks, anything like that. Just kind of my own thoughts. Not that there were many, it was mainly go fast. But I had great fun. Initially I thought it was getting a little bit hotter towards the late morning, but then it started raining again, so it stayed pretty cool the whole time. And I used after I'd built up a buffer, I used the time to plan my resupply for Trout Lake, Stevens Pass and Stehekin, because the plan was to resupply for essentially 14 days at Trout Lake and then mail some food ahead. I need to see if that's still possible. I've sorted the resupply. I've bought the food from Trout Lake to the next location, White Pass, but need to see if it's feasible or if there's an easy way of doing it for the other ones, but that can be figured out tomorrow. And yeah, so managed to get the 2:30 shuttle successfully, chatted to a few hikers. There were still a few Sobos around, which was fun. The Trail Angel network in Trout Lake is really well established. Like, it's the only group that I've known that actually has a dedicated website that lists like all of the trail angels that are available for rides and accommodation, where to find everything in town. For a small town that apparently is quite almost Amish in the way it's run. They're super like hiker friendly and inviting, and open to kind of city folk in inverted commas. We were told about the kind of the history of the area by the person who drove us in, and just like how fires have been recently, and things like that. And then I arrived at the grocery store, which is kind of the hub for all the hikers, and met up with Songbird and Frosty, and also Seawolf, who's another hiker who we'd kind of leapfrogged right as we were entering Oregon, so it's fun to catch up with them. Songbird sadly still injured, this time with an infected toe, so they've slowed down a bit again, but really fun to chat to them, and I got to share a pie with them, which was amazing, really tasty. And then Birdsong and Scales got there. They got the later shuttle at 5:30, and then we pretty much got picked up immediately, and then we were taken to the Trail Angels place. And I love Trail Angels. Like, these guys are so generous. They've got a gorgeous house, and let us do like laundry, showers, all the good stuff. Drying out our stuff on their porch. I think they're going to be able to give us a ride back into town tomorrow. They live like 3 minutes away from town, so it's kind of perfect. Just super grateful for everything that they provided us with. And tomorrow resupplying, getting everything sorted, probably aiming for about 10 miles out of town, but we'll see how that goes. And looking forward to a nice kind of restful, relaxed, if possible, morning. I'll see you there.